Okay. So you have something to play around with, and I hope that you will install some of these tools before we start doing the demo part. And just some final thoughts on how things can go wrong. So first of all, remember that automation always comes with some costs. Okay, so there is a lot of legacy software there left behind the firewall, and the network guys think that's okay. But here comes a pen tester who has access to the network and has some authorizations, and he is starting to scan everything around him. And the more noise he generates, the more checks he does, the more are chances that something goes wrong. For example, if it's really old, it's legacy, it's buggy, cases from my experience show that even sending a couple of packets to the service can result in complete operating system reboot. Okay, so really take good care about knowing that what you are doing. Okay, so if it's really old, first know it's old. First know it's up, first know what operating system is out there, and then start to dig deeper. Okay, so do all these things in a sequential order, and you will avoid a lot of unpleasant situations. Okay, then on the modes of operation and the implications that different network modes could result in. Okay, so there are cases when we do pen testing over the VPN. That can be when we, for example, are allowed to access the client's network from a specific IP address, and it's our office IP address, but we are working from home, and so on. Yeah, so we connect to our office and then are presented to our client's external scope as if we are working from the office. Everything is okay when it's still on the third level. Okay, so there will be additional latency, but most of the tools will take notion of that, and it will not interfere with the results. But yeah, as long as quality of the results is okay, still there is this quality of experience. Yeah, so it will be really long. It will be longer than if you are connected directly to the internet. Yeah, remember that. The second case is using VPNs to access the scope itself. Okay, so if you have an internal penetration test, but you are not willing or not able to locate closer to the scope, you will have a VPN link provided by the client. Remember that in this situation you most probably will have to deploy some physical stuff there anyway. So you will have to install a physical machine, move all your tools there, because working over VPN only will not allow you access network layers below third layer. Okay, so layer 3, it will be acceptable. It will be accessible by you. You will see the hosts by IP addresses. You will see all the TCP and UDP stuff, but the Ethernet segments, the ARP functionality, and all these things that are really important will be masked from you by VPN. So you will have to connect to something on the client side that has Ethernet interface, and then from there just connecting by, I don't know, SSH or RDP. Do your job in a such manner that as if you are locally present. Okay, so do not just rely on VPN connection. What about Tor and HTTP proxies while working with different clients? Sometimes they just naturally, if you have a permission, if you have engagement letter, there is no way to mask this hard, to go through Tor and HTTP proxies, because all this results in tremendous decrease of speed. Yeah, so it's really slow to scan something web related through Tor, and it's even slower when you're doing something not web related, like just TCP scanning or just some other things. Okay, so yeah, that's not good thing to do, and you have to avoid that. But sometimes clients just insist on that. They want you to do the job in a manner such as if bad guys would do it. Okay, so just test out their controls, monitoring systems, and so on. They want you to go through this path. Yeah, this results in pricing, but be prepared to really to waiting a lot. Okay, and to many scanning and enumerating tools failing dramatically, because they are not just designed to work through HTTP or SOX proxies. What about firewall evasion techniques you could use? So there is a whole different topic of evading different security controls, but for now, before the demo, you will have to understand that not many tools have this functionality in the first place. And in the situation when they have that functionality, it is not effective in most cases. Yeah, so firewalls do really good job in identifying and preventing different illegitimate network activities. So what you can do to effectively avoid that intervention, yeah, you have to act as normal. Okay, so sometimes you have to just drop your intensity rate to the one that is that is similar to what a normal users would do. So, or you can spread this activity throughout different source IP addresses, right? You can just go through them fairly, yeah, and truly, or you can spoof them. Yeah, so there are ways to spoof source address, for example, in Nmap and other tools, or use specific interfaces in order to generate this impression that the traffic is coming from different sources. There are some tricky ways, for example, playing around with fragmentation parameters and just smuggling the packets through the firewalls. And there are whole lot of different ways to attempt evading firewall attention. However, yeah, let's have just a piece of demo dedicated to that. And for now, you will have to understand that once you encounter a firewall on the network, there are ways to attempt to avoid its attention. However, their efficacy is really questionable. Okay, so just to give you some direction on how to know more on all this, please follow this first link, even if you don't check anything else. Yeah, so security tools is maintained by the same team that is developing Nmap. So there is this rating that is updated year after year about what tools are actual, what security professionals really use, and what's their impression about that. There is this one of these awesome compilations on GitHub pertaining to penetration testing, yeah, and the section on network tools is relevant to what we have discussed in this video. And to read more, you of course have this Nmap book that Fedor has written himself, the author of Nmap. And it's really interesting just to understand, to have deep understanding, really. That's what you have to do if you really want to know how things work. Yeah, so if you want to build a tool around Nmap, for example, or if you want to use Nmap as the basis for your own project, you will have to do that anyway. Just reading through sources is okay too, but this will give you a tremendous amount of information. really handy thing, this Sense Nmap cheat sheet. Yeah, so you can print it out. It's a PDF, and just hang it on the wall. I had some period of time in my career that I had that on my wall. And these two are, yeah, this is another cheat sheet, which is just a longer version of the Sense one. It has more than only Nmap in it, and the last one is what Nmap options allow you evade IDS or firewall attention. So this pretty much wraps up what we had on scanning and enumeration and fingerprinting. This was a long road, and I think now we are armed with all this knowledge to proceed with the demos and the practical examples of how these things can be and should be used in a penetration test. See you around, guys.